Right now, as you settle in, somewhere beneath the quiet of your body, a vast and patient defense is preparing to go to work. Not near the part of you that flinches from a cold draft or pulls a hand back from something hot. Something older than that and far more deliberate. A defense that has been waiting all day for this exact moment. For you to stop, for the lights to lower, for the world to finally grow still enough that it can do the work it does best. We have spent other nights together following the body down into sleep, watching the long, repeating waves of the night carry you from one shore to another. Tonight we follow something different. Tonight we follow the unseen. Because while you sleep, you are not simply resting. You are being defended. And the way that defense unfolds hour by hour in the dark is one of the most quietly remarkable things your body was ever built to do. There is a paradox at the heart of it that almost no one ever pauses to consider. You might assume the body is busiest in the daylight, when you are moving and working and meeting the world. But some of the most intricate, most demanding, most important work your body performs all day, it saves for the night. It saves it for now, for the hours when you finally stop asking anything of yourself and let the deeper machinery come awake. You have felt a piece of this before, even if you never named it. Think of the last time you came down with something, the first true hours of a cold or a fever beginning to climb. Do you remember the feeling that came with it? Not just the ache, not just the heaviness behind your eyes, but the pull. That deep, almost irresistible pull towards sleep. The sense that nothing in the world mattered more than lying down. You may have thought of it as weakness, as your body giving out. It is the opposite of that. That pull is a message. It is your immune system reaching up into your brain and asking, plainly, for the one thing it needs most. Quiet, sleep. Because sleep and your immune system are not two separate stories that happen to share the same body. They are in constant conversation. They speak to each other all night long in a language of small chemical signals, and what one says shapes what the other does. When you are ill, your immune system tells your brain to sleep more deeply. And when you sleep well, your immune system grows stronger, sharper, better at remembering. It is a partnership written into the body from the very start. And tonight we are going to listen in on that conversation, slowly, from the inside. So let yourself arrive here for a moment. Wherever you are, however the day has left you, there is nothing you need to do for what is about to happen. That is the quiet wonder of it. The defense that is rising inside you does not need your attention or your effort or your worry. It only needs you to let go, to let sleep come. Everything else, it already knows how to do. Let the room grow a little softer around you as we begin. Let the edges of the day blur. You have carried a great deal through these past hours. The small decisions, the noise, the thousand things that ask something of you. You can set them down now. Not solve them, not finish them. Only set them down, the way you might lay something heavy on a table and step back from it for the night. The work that is about to begin inside you does not need you to be doing anything at all. In fact, it needs the opposite. It needs you, finally, completely, at rest. Picture the body at the end of an ordinary day. For all those waking hours, you have been moving through a world full of unseen things. Microbes on every surface you touched, drifting in every breath you took, riding in on the food you ate, and the hands you shook and the air of every room you passed through. Most of them harmless, many of them helpful, some of them not. And all day, without a single thought from you, a fast and tireless first line of defense has been meeting them at the door. reacting in seconds, asking no questions, simply pushing back against anything that does not belong. That is the part of your immunity built for speed. It works in the daylight, in the rush, in the noise. It is the body's reflex, its instant answer, its front gate. But there is another part of you, a slower, deeper, far more intelligent kind of defense. One that does not simply react with us. It learns, it studies as. Threat remembers its shape and builds a lasting answer to it, so that the next time that same intruder appears, even years from now, the response is faster, surer, and far more precise. This is the part of your immunity that carries memory, the part that makes it possible to meet an illness once and never quite meet it the same way again. And here is the quiet secret at the center of tonight. Memory like that is not built well in the rush of the day. Memory is built in the stillness. It is built at night. It is built in sleep. Think of these two defenses as two great armies that share a single country, your body. The first is the standing guard at the walls, quick, fierce, always awake, meeting every arrival with the same blunt and immediate force. It does not pause to ask who has come or why. It simply holds the line. The second army is something rarer and stranger. It is the army of scholars and strategists, the part of you that takes a captured enemy, studies it, learns its weaknesses, and trains specialists to hunt that one enemy alone. The first army keeps you alive through the day. The second army is how you grow wiser over a lifetime. How a body that has lived through many seasons carries a library of everything it has ever faced. And that second army does its training and its remembering almost entirely at night. Even that first army, the standing guard, does some of its quietest housekeeping in the dark. Among its ranks are the great cleaners of the body, roaming cells whose whole purpose is to move through your tissues and swallow what does not belong. The debris of the day, the worn-out pieces of your own cells, spent and ready to be replaced. The first few invaders to slip past the outer walls. These cleaners are tireless, and they are nearly everywhere within you. In your skin, your lungs, your blood, the deep recesses of every organ, and they do their finest work when the body around them is calm and undemanding and still. In sleep, with the daytime traffic quieted and the great muscles at rest, they move through you the way night custodians move through an empty building long after everyone has gone home. Unhurried, methodical, sweeping the floors, clearing the wreckage, carrying away what the day has used up and left behind. They ask for no thanks. They make no sound. And by the time the first light comes, they have quietly set the whole house in order. This is part of why a good night leaves you feeling not merely rested, but somehow renewed. Lighter, clearer, made new. It is not only your mind that has been tidied in the night, it is the living substance of you, swept clean by hands you will never see, in rooms you will never visit, while you lay still and let them work. To understand why, we have to follow the gentle shift change that happens inside you the moment sleep begins. All through the day, your body runs on a particular kind of chemical weather. Stress hormones move through you in steady, purposeful amounts. Cortisol, and the quick, bright signals of adrenaline and its close relatives. These are not your enemies. They are what lets you wake in the morning, rise to meet a challenge, stay alert, move through a demanding world with focus and energy. They are the chemistry of doing. But they come with a cost that almost no one ever considers. those same daytime signals quietly hold parts of your deeper immune system back. They keep the slow, studying, memory-building cells in a kind of waiting state. Because the body, in its deep wisdom, does not attempt its most delicate inner work in the middle of a busy, unpredictable, demanding day. It waits. It holds those cells in reserve. It knows a better hour is coming, and then night comes. You lie down. Sleep begins to move through you, slow as a tide, and that chemical weather changes completely. In the early hours of a good night's sleep, cortisol falls toward the lowest point of its entire daily journey. The bright, fast stress signals quiet down, like a city's traffic thinning toward midnight, and into that newly opened quiet, other signals begin to rise. Growth hormone surges in those first deep hours, the largest release of the whole day. Another gentle hormone, one that supports the immune system's deeper work, rises alongside it in the dark. The entire inner landscape shifts, away from a state built for reacting and into a state built for repairing and learning and remembering. The body changes its weather on purpose, so that a different kind of work can finally begin. Think of it as a permission window. During the day, the door to the body's deepest immune work is held mostly closed, guarded by the hormones of wakefulness. They are not cruel guards. They are simply keeping that delicate work safe until the right conditions arrive. And then, at night, as you sink down into sleep, that door swings quietly open, and the cells that have been waiting all day long finally step through it, into hours that belong to them and to no one else. Hours of stillness, hours of safety, hours you have given them simply by closing your eyes. Picture your body then as a great country settling into night. Out in the streets, the lamps are going dark one by one. The daytime traffic has stilled, the doors are closing, and to anyone passing by, the country looks asleep, quiet, shuttered, at rest. But deep within it, in halls that never see daylight, the lights are just coming on. The night shift is arriving. The real work of keeping the country safe, the slow work, the careful work, the work that cannot be rushed, is only now beginning. And it will carry on, faithfully, in the dark, through every hour you sleep. So what do they actually do, these night workers, in that open window? This is where the night grows truly beautiful. Stay with me here, slowly, and let the picture build. Let us begin with the messengers. Your immune cells do not shout across the body. They speak in whispers, in small proteins that drift from cell to cell, carrying instructions, coordinating a response that no single cell could ever manage alone. Among the most important of these whispers is a whole family of signals that scientists group together under one name: cytokines. They are the words of the immune system's language. And here is the detail that reveals just how deeply sleep and immunity are woven into one another. Some of these very same immune signals, the proteins your body uses to organize its defense, also signals that help bring on sleep and carry it deeper. The chemistry of defending you and the chemistry of putting you to sleep overlap. In places, they are the same chemistry. Let that settle for a moment, because it is genuinely remarkable. When these particular signals rise in the early part of the night, they help draw you down into the deep, slow stages of sleep. And that same depth, in turn, is exactly what the immune system needs in order to do its finest work. One hand washes the other. The body defends itself by sleeping, and it sleeps, in part, in order to defend itself. This is why illness makes you so heavy with the need for rest. When you are fighting something, your immune system produces more of these signals. And those signals reach up into the brain and turn the dial toward deeper, longer sleep. Your body is not failing when it pulls you toward the bed. It is calling for reinforcements. It is asking for the conditions it knows it needs to win. And in the asking, it shows you something tender about how you are made, that the cure it reaches for first, before anything else, is rest. You may have noticed, too, how the whole world narrows when you are truly unwell. The appetite fades, the interest in things falls away. Even the desire to move or to speak grows dim and distant. We tend to think of this as merely feeling bad, but it is far more deliberate than that. This narrowing is the body, quietly and firmly clearing the calendar, pulling you back from the world, freeing every spare ounce of energy from the ordinary business of living and turning it, instead, toward the fight and toward the rest the fight requires. It is the same deep wisdom that pulls you toward the bed, the body taking command, gently overriding your plans, insisting on the one condition it knows it needs. There is something almost tender in being overruled this way, in discovering that some part of you cares for your survival more fiercely and more wisely than your waking mind ever thinks to. When you are ill, you do not have to know what to do. The body knows. And what it asks for, first and last and always, is the dark and the quiet and the sleep in which it can do its work. Now, follow the cells themselves, down into the work. Among the most important of the night workers are the T cells, a kind of white blood cell that sits at the very heart of your learning, remembering, immunity. A T cell's task much of the time is to find a cell in the body that has been infected from within, lock onto it, and act. But to do that, it first has to be able to grip. T cells carry tiny molecular anchors on their surface, and how firmly those anchors can grasp their target is not fixed. It rises and falls, hour by hour. And research has shown something quietly astonishing about when it rises. After only a few hours of sleep, the gripping power of these cells climbs measurably higher than it does in someone who has stayed awake through those same hours. Sleep itself sharpens their ability to hold on. The simple act of sleeping, of doing nothing at all, makes the body's defenders better at catching and keeping hold of exactly what they are reaching for. And why would that be? Return to the permission window, because it answers this beautifully. Those daytime stress signals, the ones that quiet down at night, are the very signals that loosen a T cell's grip and hold it in check. They are the brake. When they fall away in sleep, the brake comes off, and the cell can finally close its hand. Studies indicate that this is one of the clearest, most direct ways sleep strengthens your immunity. Not by adding something exotic, not by forcing the system to work harder, simply by removing the daytime pressure that keeps these cells from working at their best. Sleep does not push the immune system. Sleep steps aside and lets it do what it has always known how to do. Pause for a moment on something so basic that it is easy to miss how astonishing it is. In order to defend you, your immune system has to know what you are. It must be able to look at any cell, any fragment, anything at all that it meets within you and answer a single profound question. Is this me or is this not me? Every defender you carry has been carefully taught to recognize the signature of your own body, to know your own cells as friends, and to leave them in peace, while remaining ever watchful for the stranger, the intruder, the thing that does not carry your mark. This is one of the most delicate balances in all of living things. Lean too far one way, and the body fails to defend itself. Lean too far the other, and it begins to turn against its own. And much of the fine-tuning of that balance, the patient education that teaches each new defender exactly where the line falls between you and not you, is thought to draw upon the ordered calm of sleep. So as you lie here, the body is not only defending you, it is rehearsing quietly over and over the deepest knowledge it holds, the knowledge of who you are, so that it can go on protecting that self faithfully without ever once mistaking it for the enemy. There is another kind of defender worth meeting here too, because while the T-cells hunt, another part of your army is busy building something that will outlast the night by years. These are the cells that make antibodies. Picture an antibody as a kind of perfectly shaped key, made to fit one lock and one lock alone, the exact surface of one particular threat. When your body meets an intruder, certain cells begin manufacturing these keys by the millions, each one tuned to grip that single enemy and mark it for destruction. And over time, with patience, the body refines them, reshaping the key again and again until the fit is almost perfect. This refining, this slow improvement of the body's aim is delicate work. It is exactly the kind of careful, unhurried craft the night was made for. And research suggests that good sleep in the days after an exposure supports the building and the strengthening of this antibody response, helping the body forge keys that are sharper, more numerous, and longer lasting. While you sleep, somewhere within you, the locksmiths are at their benches, quietly perfecting the defenses you will carry into all your tomorrows. And there is one frontier of your defense so vast that it is easy to forget it is there at all. The long inner border of your gut. More of your immune system gathers along that winding inner passage than in almost any other place in the body, keeping a careful, constant watch over everything you take in from the outside world. With every meal, every sip, every swallow, that great border patrol must make countless quiet decisions. What is nourishment to be welcomed, and what is threat to be turned away? It is delicate work, this endless sorting of friend from stranger, and it leans on rhythm and rest to keep its balance true. Through the night, as the work of digestion settles and the body grows quiet, that vast inner frontier keeps its patient vigil, repairing the fine lining that separates the inside of you from the world you take in, calming the small alarms of the day, renewing the long and ancient truce it holds with the countless tiny lives that share your body and in their own way help to keep you well. We so rarely think of this hidden country within us, but it is there all night, holding its line, tending its border, keeping a peace you never have to think about, so that you are free to simply sleep. There is something deeper still happening in these hours, though, and it carries us into one of the most elegant ideas in all of sleep science. You may already sense that sleep is when the mind consolidates memory, when the experiences of the day are sorted, strengthened, and stored, so that what mattered is kept and what did not is gently allowed to fade. We have touched that idea before on other nights, but research now suggests that the immune system does something remarkably similar, and at the very same time, it too forms memory in sleep. Here is what that means, told slowly. When your immune system meets a new threat, a virus it has never encountered, or a vaccine introducing it to a danger in safe, harmless miniature, it does not only fight in the moment, it tries to learn. It works to create long-lived memory cells that will carry the recognition of that exact threat forward through time, sometimes for years, sometimes for the rest of your life. This is the deepest gift the immune system gives you. Not just the battle, but the lesson drawn from it. And the building of that lasting memory, the filing of that hard-won recognition into long-term storage, appears to depend in real and measurable ways on sleep. In the deep, slow hours of the night, the immune system seems to take the lessons of the day's encounters and write them down, moving them from a fragile, temporary state into something durable and lasting. Studies indicate that people who sleep well after meeting a new threat build a stronger, longer-lasting memory of it than those who do not. Picture it almost as a great library deep inside you, with quiet scribes who only work at night. All day the body has been gathering pages, impressions of what it met, sketches of the threats it encountered, rough notes scrawled in the heat of the moment. And then, in the dark, while you sleep, the scribes come out. They take those rough and fragile notes and they copy them carefully into the permanent record, into volumes that will sit on the shelves for years, ready to be opened the instant that same enemy ever returns. Without the night, the notes stay loose and scattered and easily lost. With the night, they become a memory the body can keep for a lifetime. Hold the symmetry of that for a moment, because it is one of the loveliest things the body does. The same stillness that lets your mind keep what it learned today, lets your body keep what it learned today. Two kinds of memory. One night. One quiet, shared process of holding on to what matters and letting the rest dissolve. While you sleep, you are not only resting and not only defending, you are remembering in two languages at once and storing both away where time cannot easily take them. And the cells that do this learning are not even holding still while they work. Your immune cells keep their own clock, finely tuned to the rhythm of day and night, just as the rest of you is. Across the hours, the number of certain defenders circulating through your blood rises and falls on a daily schedule. And at night, many of them leave the open river of the bloodstream entirely and travel inward toward the lymph nodes. Those small, quiet way stations tucked throughout the body are where immune cells gather to compare what they have found, to be shown the shape of a new threat, to be trained for what may come. It is, in a real sense, where the teaching happens, where a young cell is shown what to look for, where the next generation of defenders is made wiser, and the body schedules much of that teaching for the night, drawing its students inward into the classroom, precisely when you have stepped away from the world and given them, at last, the time. There is a whole hidden network that carries them there. Alongside the rushing rivers of your blood runs a second, quieter system, a slow web of fine channels and small gathering places that threads through the entire body. It moves at the pace of stillness, gently, without a pounding heart to drive it. It is the immune system's own private country road, and it leads always to those quiet rooms where cells meet and learn. As you lie here, that slow inner network is doing its patient work, carrying messages, carrying cells, carrying the day's discoveries inward toward the places where they will be understood. A whole secret geography of care, flowing softly through you in the dark. Deep on the left side of you, tucked up beneath the ribs, there is a quiet organ most people never think of at all, unless it is injured: the spleen. It is, among other things, a great gathering house and reservoir for the cells of your defense, a place where the blood is filtered, where worn and damaged cells are gently retired, and where a standing reserve of defenders waits, rested and ready, for the moment they are called. Think of it as a barracks and a filtering house combined, always sorting, always cleaning, always holding a portion of your forces back in reserve against the hour they are needed. Through the night, like everything else within you, it does its patient work in the calm, renewing its reserves, clearing away what is spent, keeping the great standing army in good order and good supply. You will likely never feel it. You will never once have to manage it. It simply serves faithfully in the deep interior of you. One more quiet room in the great house of your defense, lit and working through the night while you rest. So while you lie still, believing that nothing at all is happening, there is a quiet migration moving through you. Countless defenders traveling inward toward the small, quiet rooms where they will learn. A whole inner population on the move, in the dark, on a schedule older than memory, toward the work of becoming ready. And here is a final wonder before we let the deep science go. Even your body's warmth keeps a nightly rhythm tied to all of this. The immune system often does some of its most active work in the quiet of the night, which is part of why a fever so often seems to climb after dark, when the body, undisturbed, turns its full attention to the fight. A rising temperature is not the illness winning. It is in many cases the body choosing to make itself a harder place for an invader to survive, turning up the heat on purpose in the hours when it can finally focus. Even this, the oldest and simplest of the body's defenses, is woven into the rhythm of day and night, and leans, like all the rest, into the dark. You can see that same nighttime devotion wherever the body is quietly mending. Think of a small wound, a scrape, a cut, the ordinary damage of a life lived in a physical world. Healing such a place is not only a matter of sealing it over. First, the immune system must come, clearing away the tissue that was harmed, standing guard against any invader that might try to use the opening, preparing the clean ground on which new skin can grow. It is the immune system that makes a wound safe enough to close. And research suggests that this immune-led mending tends to proceed best in those who are well rested, that the body closes its wounds more surely and often more swiftly when it has been given its full measure of sleep. So even the slow knitting together of the body, the quiet repair of all its small daily injuries, is bound up with the defense that rises in the dark. To heal and to defend turn out to be, in the deepest sense, the very same nightly gift. The same hours serve both. The same stillness makes both possible. And you are giving those hours now. There is a daily tide to all of this as well, a rhythm that rises and falls across the turning of the day. Your defense is not the same at every hour. Through the night, as you sleep, certain parts of it gather and concentrate and do their deepest, most studious work. The learning, the remembering, the careful repair. And then, toward morning, as you begin to surface, the balance shifts again. The fast, ready defenders move back out into the open river of the blood, fanning out across the body, taking up their daytime posts at the walls, so that you wake already guarded for the day ahead. It is a kind of changing of the watch performed every single day of your life, without a single thought from you. The night shift withdraws to its quiet halls to do the deep work. The day shift musters at the gates. And the seam between them, the handover, happens in those soft hours around waking, which is one more reason the body so treasures a full and unhurried night. Cut the night short, and you interrupt the changing of the watch itself, leaving the day's guard to take up its posts, only half assembled. Give the night its full length, and the handover is clean. The deep work finished, the day's defenders ready and in place, the whole great rhythm turning smoothly, exactly as it was made to. Sit with this whole picture for a while. There is no rush to leave it. You, perfectly still in the dark, your breath slow, your weight settling. And inside you, a vast, coordinated, unhurried effort. Stress signals lowering like a tide going out. Messengers rising into the new quiet. Cells tightening their grip now that the break is gone. Locksmiths perfecting their keys. Scribes copying the day's lessons into the permanent record. Defenders traveling the slow inner roads toward the rooms where they are made wise. None of it loud. None of it asking a single thing of you. All of it depending completely and only on the simple fact that you have allowed yourself to sleep. And it all moves together, in time, like a great orchestra playing softly in a darkened hall. No single player carries the whole of it. The messengers keep the tempo. The hunters hold the melody. The locksmiths and the scribes work their quiet harmonies beneath. The cleaners sweep through like a low and steady bass line, and the slow inner rivers carry the sound from room to room. There is no conductor standing over them, waving them on. They simply know their parts, as they have always known them, and they play. Not for an audience, not for praise, but only for you, and only for your keeping. You will never hear a note of it, and yet it plays on, all night, faithfully, in the dark beneath your sleeping, the oldest and most devoted music in the world. The sound, if you could only hear it, of a body loving you back to readiness while you rest. And there is a reason the body waits for calm to do all of this. By day, when you're alert and active and meeting the world, your nervous system runs in a mode built for readiness. Leaning forward, quickened, primed to respond to whatever might come. But as you settle into sleep, it shifts into its opposite, the deep, restorative mode, the one that slows the heart, lengthens and softens the breath, and turns the body's resources gently inward toward repair and renewal. This quieter mode is not merely the backdrop against which the immune system works, it is part of the work itself. Calm is one of the conditions the deep defense depends upon. The slower the heart, the softer the breath, the more completely the body gives itself permission to do the patient inner labor of keeping you well. Which means that the very peace you are sinking into now is not something separate from your healing. It is your healing. The stillness is the medicine. The rest is the remedy. And you are giving it to yourself, perfectly, asking nothing, achieving nothing, simply by lying here and letting the calm come and allowing yourself at last to be still. This is what the body was built to do at night, not to shut down, not to go dark and empty, to turn inward, to spend the hours of darkness becoming, quietly and faithfully, more ready for whatever the next day may hold. You are not losing these hours. You are not absent from them. You are giving them as a gift to the part of yourself that keeps you whole. And it is a gift the body receives without ever once asking you to understand it. All the years of your life, through every night you have ever slept, this same quiet work has gone on inside you. Faithfully, invisibly, asking nothing, expecting no thanks, simply keeping you. You are defended in your sleep when you are far too small to know the word for it. You are defended in your sleep tonight, and you will be defended in just this way on every night still ahead of you, by a devotion older than your first memory, woven into you from the very beginning, that has never once taken a single night off and never will. And now you can begin to understand from the inside why the loss of sleep is felt so quickly and so deeply by the part of you that keeps you well. Let the pace soften here. the way the night itself begins to soften once its deepest work is underway. We are going to look gently now at what happens when this window does not fully open, when sleep is cut short or broken or pushed aside for too long. Not to alarm you. There is nothing to fear in your bed tonight, and nothing here you need to fix before morning. Only to let you see, clearly and calmly, just how much that quiet inner work depends on the rest you are giving it right now, so that you might come to treasure it the way you would treasure anything that asks so little and gives so much. Consider a single short night, just one. Not weeks of deprivation. One ordinary evening cut down to a handful of hours. You might expect the body to shrug that off without a trace, but the immune system notices almost at once. Among your fastest defenders are cells that patrol the body looking for trouble already underway. Cells that can recognize the early signs of a virus hidden inside one of your own cells, or a cell that has begun to turn abnormal and act against it without needing to be taught first. They are the Night Watch, the roving guard, and they are some of the most sensitive to sleep loss of all. Research that has followed this closely found that after even a single night of shortened sleep, the activity of these patrolling cells can fall measurably the very next day. In one early and often cited study, dropping to around 70% of its usual strength, nearly a third of that frontline vigilance quietly dimmed after a single short night. But here is the gentle, reassuring half of that same finding, and it is the half worth keeping. When normal sleep returned, so did the cells. The vigilance came back. The body did not hold a grudge. It did not punish the lapse. It simply asked, quietly, for the night back. And when the night was given, the watch resumed as though it had never faltered. This is the kind of system you are living inside. Forgiving, resilient, always ready to be restored. It asks only for the rest, and then it does the rest itself. There is great comfort in that, if you let it land. You do not have to have slept perfectly every night of your life. You only have to give the body the next good night, and the one after that. It knows how to recover. It has been waiting to. It is worth saying, too, that it is not only the length of sleep that matters, but its depth and its wholeness. A night broken into fragments, surfacing again and again, never quite sinking into the deep stages, can leave the immune system as short-changed as a night simply cut too brief. Remember that the deepest, slowest sleep is when so much of this inner work concentrates. The hormonal window at its widest, the memory filing at its most active. When that depth is interrupted, the work is interrupted with it, which is why protecting the wholeness of your night, the unbroken, undisturbed descent into the deep, is one of the kindest things you can offer the defender within you. And it is, once again, something you are doing right now, simply by being here, simply by letting the night close softly around you, undisturbed. It is worth saying, with no blame in it at all, that the world we live in does not make this easy. We have filled the night with light, with bright screens held close to our eyes, with rooms that never truly go dark, with the low and constant hum of a world that no longer fully sleeps. We carry the day's worries to the very edge of the bed, and the day's brightness into our eyes, long after the body has begun, quietly to ask for rest. None of this is a failing on your part. It is simply the water we all swim in now. But it does mean that the quiet window the immune system depends upon, that open door of deep and undisturbed sleep, can be narrowed almost without our noticing, a little more each night. And that is worth knowing. Not as one more burden to carry, not as one more thing you must do correctly, but as a gentle invitation. An invitation to guard the soft edges of your night, to let the dark be dark, to set down the day a little earlier and let the dimming come. To give the patient defender within you the unbroken hours it has always quietly needed, the very hours, the very stillness that you are choosing to give it right now, simply by being here. Now, widen the view, a little to one of the clearest windows we have ever opened onto sleep and real illness. Researchers have done something both simple and quietly bold. They have carefully measured how much people actually sleep, night after night, and then deliberately and safely exposed those same healthy people to a common cold virus under controlled conditions, and watched to see who truly became ill and who did not. The pattern that emerged was striking in how consistent it was. Those who had been sleeping the least were far more likely to fall sick than those who had been sleeping well. In one such study, people sleeping under about 6 hours a night were more than 4 times as likely to come down with a cold as those getting 7 hours or more. The same exposure, the same virus, the same dose, given the same way. The only thing that differed was the sleep each person had carried into the room with them. Not willpower, not vitamins, not anything that could be bought or swallowed or willed into being. The defense was built, or left unbuilt, in the dark, on the quiet nights before they ever met the virus at all. This is the part worth holding on to, softly as you lie here. The immune strength you draw upon when you finally meet a threat is not assembled in the moment of crisis. It cannot be summoned on demand. It is assembled in advance, night after ordinary night, in the plain, unremarkable, almost invisible sleep you have probably never once thanked yourself for. The body is always preparing. It is preparing right now. And it does all of its preparing while you rest. And consider what all of this is building across the long span of a life. Every night you sleep, the body keeps a little more of what it has learned. The library grows, the shelves slowly fill, the great collection of memories, of every threat your body has ever met and mastered, deepens and widens with the passing years until you carry within you a quiet record of 1,000 small victories you never even knew were won. This is part of why a life that is well rested tends to be a life that is well defended, not because any single night decides everything, but because the nights add up. Each one is a small and faithful deposit into a great and growing store. Nothing good is wasted. Nothing learned is truly lost. And you are making one of those deposits right now, adding tonight to a library that has been gathering inside you since your very first breath, and that will go on keeping you faithfully through all the nights that are still to come. There is a particularly lovely illustration of this, and it is the one place tonight where the science reaches out and touches something many of us have actually done. When you receive a vaccine, you are not in truth being protected by the shot itself. You are being introduced. The vaccine simply shows your immune system the shape of a threat in a safe and harmless form, so that your body can study it at leisure and build a lasting memory of it, a memory that will stand ready for years if the real thing ever arrives. It is, in the purest sense, a lesson, a single, carefully prepared lesson. And like any lesson ever taught, whether it truly takes hold depends entirely on what happens afterward, on whether the student is given the quiet conditions in which to learn it by heart. And here the research becomes genuinely moving. Studies have found that people who sleep well in the nights around receiving a vaccine tend to build a stronger and longer-lasting response to it than those who are short on sleep during that same brief window. In some studies, those who slept normally produced markedly more of the lasting protection by a wide margin than those who lost sleep in those crucial nights. The lesson, it seems, sticks far better when it is followed by rest. Think for a moment about what that quietly tells us. Sleep is not only when the body fights. Sleep is when the body remembers what it learned about how to fight. The night after the lesson is the night the lesson is written down and carried into the deep library of the self. And without that night, even the finest lesson, even the most carefully prepared introduction, can begin to fade before it ever fully forms. There is something deeply reassuring in that, if you let it reach you. It means that one of the most powerful things you will ever do for your own defense is also the very gentlest. It asks nothing of you but stillness. It demands no discipline, no strain, no effort of will. The body does the studying, the body does the remembering, the body does every difficult and intricate part. You need only give it the dark, the quiet, the unbroken hours in which to do its work. You are giving it those hours now. That is the whole of your task, and you are already doing it perfectly. Now, let us touch, very lightly, on the longer view, and then we will let even this go and turn together toward the deeper quiet of the night. When sleep is not merely shortened for a single night, but is thinned out again and again across long stretches of months and years, the conversation between sleep and immunity slowly begins to change its tone. The immune system has a setting meant only for emergencies, a state of alarm we call inflammation, which is precisely what you want for a few days when you are healing an injury or fighting an infection. It is meant to rise sharply, do its urgent work, and then settle gently back down into quiet. Flare and fade, rise and rest. That rhythm is the whole design. But when good sleep is missing for long enough, that alarm tends not to fully settle. It lingers, it stays on, low and constant, humming in the background, a kind of smouldering the body was never meant to carry without pause. Research links this long-running, low-grade inflammation to a great many of the conditions that quietly wear on us over the span of a life. And one of the steadiest, most reliable, most accessible ways to keep that alarm where it belongs, rising only when it is truly needed, then returning faithfully to quiet, is simply this: to sleep, well and regularly, across all the long seasons of a life. And even here the body's gift for forgiveness holds. The research that troubles us with one hand tends to reassure us with the other, because so much of what poor sleep stirs up, good sleep can help quiet again. The smouldering can be brought back down. The balance can be found again. The body is not keeping a ledger of every imperfect night, waiting to present you with the bill. It is instead always leaning back toward health, always ready to use the next stretch of good rest to set itself right. Healing is the body's natural direction. Sleep is simply how it gets there. So this was never really a story about illness at all. It is a story about balance, about a system designed to flare and then rest, to defend and then recover, to learn and then remember, and about the one nightly window in which all of that balance is quietly restored, free of charge, asking nothing. Lose the window, and the balance slowly drifts. Protect it, and the body keeps itself, night after night, gently in tune. A great instrument that needs only to be set down in the dark to find its way back to true. And the most beautiful part, the part to carry down with you into sleep tonight, is that protecting it is not a task at all. It is not one more thing to manage or measure or remember to get right. It is the most natural thing in all the world. It is this, exactly this. What you are doing right now without trying, let everything we have followed tonight begin to loosen its hold on your attention now. You do not need to remember the names. You do not need to keep the details. They were never yours to carry in the first place. They belong to the cells and the signals and the quiet inner clock that keeps perfect time whether or not you ever think of any of it again. Let them go. Let them blur and soften and drift out of reach, the way the shore drifts away from someone lying back in a slow and gentle current. Let yourself simply rest now in the knowing of it, that as you lie here, the stress of the day is ebbing out of you like a tide going out, further and further, leaving the shore of you smooth and quiet. That in that lowering quiet, the messengers are already rising. That somewhere within you, in rooms you will never see, defenders are tightening their grip, traveling inward, gathering in the small, still places where they learn. That the locksmiths are at their benches, and the scribes are at their books, and the slow inner rivers are carrying the day's lessons home. That all of it is being written down, even now, into a memory that will keep you long after this particular night is forgotten. You were built for this, not as a machine that must be driven and watched and corrected, but as a living thing that knows, without ever being told exactly what to do in the dark. The body does not need to be reminded how to defend you. It does not need your instructions or your effort or your fear. It only needs to be allowed, and tonight you are allowing it. By doing nothing, by being still, by letting sleep carry you down gently into the hours that belong to your deepest and wisest self. Let the knowing of all this become a kind of warmth that you can rest inside. You are not alone in here. You never have been. Every cell of you is on your side. Every quiet system within you is bending, even now, toward the single work of keeping you whole. There is a whole devoted country inside you that has only ever wanted one thing: your wellness. And it knows, without ever being told exactly how to tend to it, if only you will give it the night. So give it the night. Hand the hours over, gently, the way you would hand a sleeping child to someone you trust completely. Let yourself be cared for now by the one caretaker who has never once left your side and never will. There is no threat in this room. There is nothing here that means you harm. There is no task left undone that the night cannot hold safely until morning. There is only you and the slow, certain, faithful rhythm of a body taking care of itself the way it was made to, quietly, patiently, without your effort and without your worry, and without asking anything of you at all. So let the breath slow. Let it lengthen and soften, all on its own. There is no need to deepen it or guide it or change it in any way. Only let it be, in and out, like the tide that has carried every sleeping creature since the very first night. Let the shoulders come down from wherever the day left them. Let the jaw unclench. Let the small muscles around the eyes go soft. Let the weight of you settle fully and completely into wherever you lie. The defense is already rising. The window is already open. The work has already quietly begun. And all of it, all of that vast, patient, unseen care is asking only one thing of you now. Rest. Let go. There is nothing left to do. There is nowhere else to be. The night will keep you the way it always has, the way it was always meant to. And it is keeping you even now, right now, as you drift down and down into the deep and quiet place where the body does its finest and most faithful work, and asks for nothing in return but this, that you let it, that you sleep. There is nothing more for you to understand tonight, nothing more to follow, nothing more to hold. You have come to the part of the night where even listening can be set down. So let the words themselves begin to blur now, the way voices blur when you are nearly asleep in a moving car, safe in the back, while someone you trust is driving. You do not need to catch everyone. You do not need to follow where they lead. Let them become a kind of soft weather around you, a murmur, a warmth, a current carrying you gently downstream. With every breath, you are sinking a little further. With every breath, the day grows a little more distant. The shoulders, heavier now. The face, softer. The whole weight of you giving itself over at last to the bed, to the dark, to the night. And all the while, far beneath the surface where you can no longer follow, the quiet work goes faithfully on. The messengers rising, the defenders gathering, the lessons of your life being written down and kept. It does not need your watching. It never did. It only needed you to come this far, all the way down here to the soft edge of sleep, and then to let yourself slip gently over it. So sleep now. Let the dark be soft around you. Let the night do what the night does best. Far below the surface of your awareness, the defenders are at their posts. The lessons are being kept, the balance is being restored. And none of it needs anything from you but the stillness you are already giving. You are being looked after from the inside all night long. And in the morning, without a single thing asked of you, you will rise a little more ready than you were, because of nothing more than this, because you rested, because you let go, because you slept. So there is nothing left now but to rest, nothing left to do or to know or to keep hold of. You have given the night everything it ever asked of you, which was only your stillness, only your trust, only your willingness to let go. The rest is already underway, far below where you can follow, and it will not stop, and it will not falter, and it does not need you awake to see it through. So let this be the last thought that softens and loosens and slips quietly away, that you are safe, and you are held, and you are being cared for from the inside all the way to morning. You were built for this. You have always been built for this. And tonight you are doing nothing more than letting yourself be what you have always been, a living thing, at rest, being quietly and faithfully and completely kept asleep well. You are well defended, and you are deeply, faithfully cared for, all the way through to morning,